Imagine arriving in a town where most people don't live above the ground. No skyscrapers, no apartment buildings, no suburban neighborhoods. Instead, entire homes are hidden beneath the earth. Living rooms, bedrooms, kitchens. Some even have swimming pools, all underground. At first, it sounds like something from a science fiction movie, a secret bunker city built after a global catastrophe. But this place is real, and thousands of people call it home. In the middle of one of the harshest environments on Earth, an entire community decided that the best way to survive wasn't to build upward, it was to dig downward. This is Coober Pedy, the Australian town where underground living became a way of life. And once you understand why people chose to live beneath the desert, you'll wonder why more places don't do the same. Australia is famous for many things: its beaches, its wildlife, its modern cities. But most people don't realize how empty much of the country really is. Vast regions stretch for hundreds of kilometers with almost nothing in sight. No towns, no farms, no forests, just endless desert. And right in the middle of that desert sits Coober Pedy, a place that looks almost abandoned from above. The landscape appears dry, hostile, almost alien. The kind of place where you wouldn't expect thousands of people to settle voluntarily, and yet they did. The obvious question is, why? The answer begins with one word: opals. In the early 20th century, prospectors discovered valuable opal deposits in the region, and not just small deposits, some of the richest opal fields ever found. Suddenly, people from all over the world started arriving: miners, entrepreneurs, dreamers hoping to strike it rich. The classic gold rush story, except this time it wasn't gold, it was opal. And unlike many mining booms, Coober Pedy never completely disappeared, because the opals kept coming. Even today, a significant portion of the world's opals originate from this region. But there was a problem, a very serious problem: the desert. During summer, temperatures regularly climb above 40 degrees Celsius, sometimes much higher. The heat can feel relentless, brutal, almost oppressive. Walking outside during the hottest parts of the day becomes exhausting. Living in a traditional house means relying heavily on air conditioning. And in such an isolated location, that becomes expensive, very expensive. So residents began searching for another solution. And what they discovered was surprisingly simple: the ground itself. A few meters below the surface, temperatures remain remarkably stable, cool during summer, warmer during winter. Nature provides insulation for free. Instead of fighting the desert, people started working with it. Miners already had experience digging underground. The equipment existed, the skills existed, the idea made sense. Why build houses above ground when the earth itself offered better protection? And so the town began expanding downward, not upward. What fascinates me is how often innovation comes from necessity. Many people imagine progress happening inside research laboratories or giant technology companies. But some of the most practical solutions emerge when ordinary people face difficult problems. Coober Pedy is a perfect example. Nobody planned to create an underground town. Nobody sat around a table designing a futuristic city. People simply adapted. The environment forced them to think differently, and the result was something extraordinary. Today, many homes in Coober Pedy are known as dugouts. From the outside, they can look surprisingly modest. Sometimes you barely notice them. But step inside and everything changes: large living spaces, comfortable bedrooms, modern kitchens, entertainment rooms. Some homes are far larger than people expect. And perhaps the strangest part? Many residents say they prefer underground living. The temperature remains comfortable throughout the year. Noise is reduced. Energy costs can be lower. Some even describe the environment as peaceful, which is not what most people imagine when they hear the word underground. Of course, life in Coober Pedy isn't perfect. The isolation is real. The nearest major city is hundreds of kilometers away. The landscape can feel empty. Services are limited compared to larger urban areas. And living in the middle of the Australian Outback requires a certain mindset. It's not for everyone. To be fair, I think many people romanticize remote living without fully understanding the trade-offs. It's easy to admire isolation from a YouTube video. It's different when isolation becomes part of your daily reality. Simple errands become complicated. Travel takes longer. Opportunities can be limited. The freedom of remote living often comes with sacrifices. Yet despite those challenges, people stay. And that's what makes Coober Pedy so interesting. If this place were truly unbearable, nobody would remain, but thousands do. Generation after generation. Families build lives here, children grow up here, businesses operate here, communities thrive here, which suggests there is something deeper than simple survival. There is belonging, identity, a sense of home. Over time, the town became famous for more than opals. Its unusual appearance attracted filmmakers. Several movies have used the surrounding landscape because it looks unlike almost anywhere else on Earth. The terrain feels otherworldly, almost like another planet. And honestly, when you see aerial footage of the region, it's easy to understand why. There are moments when the landscape looks more like Mars than Australia. That strange appearance has become part of the town's identity. Visitors arrive expecting something unusual. And Coober Pedy rarely disappoints. Perhaps the most surprising lesson from this town is that humans are incredibly adaptable. Again and again throughout history, people have found ways to survive in environments that initially seem impossible. Frozen tundras, remote islands, mountain peaks, deserts. We tend to underestimate how flexible human beings can be when circumstances demand it. Coober Pedy is proof of that. A community looked at one of the hottest environments in the country and came up with a solution most people would never consider. They moved underground. And somehow it worked. In a way, the town also challenges our assumptions about what a home should look like. Most of us grow up with a very specific image of housing: windows, roofs, gardens, streets. But those ideas aren't universal. They're products of geography and culture. Change the environment, and the definition of home changes too. That's one reason I find places like Coober Pedy so fascinating. They remind us that there is rarely only one way to live. The world is full of communities quietly solving problems in ways outsiders never expect. As the desert sun beats down across the Australian outback, temperatures climb once again. Above ground, the heat becomes relentless. But beneath the surface, life continues. Families eat dinner, children do homework, people relax after work. Entire lives unfold hidden beneath the desert floor, invisible to most of the world. A town that chose to escape the heat by disappearing underground. And perhaps one of the most unusual communities ever built. Because sometimes the smartest way to survive an extreme environment isn't to fight it, it's to adapt to it.